Hello, welcome back to Talk Football Live. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Continue to like, subscribe, and share our videos. Thank you very much for being a loyal followers. Well, we're back again. Welcome back, Charles. Welcome back, Ayo. We'll be talking about the one of the it's actually the best game for this weekend, this week
Yeah.
7. So we're gonna be looking into the Spurs Liverpool game, and we'll be analyzing and discussing that. So I have two great guys that are going to be looking into what to expect this weekend. Let's talk about the analysis, what players to watch out, what possible formation. I think some players are not sure of playing that game, so due to injuries or late fitness, we'll probably find out more before the kickoff to see who will be there. But meanwhile, we're going to be looking into the possible lineup of who might play and who might not play. Um, I'm going to start with you, Charles. I don't know who you like to argue for, but you have the opportunity of telling me, what do you think is going to win this game?
I think it's going to be Liverpool because I remember, at the beginning of the season, Biodun, you said Liverpool is going to be the one of the greatest contenders this season. I think you said I had predicted that this may be the seasons and Pep would not win the league, and you said because you believe Liverpool is going to be the one that's going to push Pep. And I'm beginning to agree with you, actually, with the way Liverpool has been setting up. So, yeah, I'm speaking in defense of Liverpool, but I believe Liverpool is going to win this game.
Okay, so we'll do this then.
Yeah.
We'll do this and shortly, higher place, shortly, you can bring up the lineups. So I'll have you, Charles, speak to why you think Liverpool will win this game. Walk us through how Liverpool can win this game. And Ayo, I know you're an Arsenal fan, but for tonight, I just wanted to pretend and see, do you think Spurs can win this game? And if there's a way around for Spurs to win this game, how can they win this game? And if you still want to argue for Liverpool, totally yours. All right, so here we go, Charles. Go ahead.
Why would Liverpool win this game?
And if yes, how would they win this game?
Yes. And I'm saying yes, and why or
Okay,
how? How is what
go
I'm
ahead.
experience in all factors. Experience on the coaching bench, experience on the field, experience in almost all aspects of the field. And when I'm talking about experience, I'm talking about EPL experience. Klopp, being an EPL manager, the only one among the two of them who has won the EPL before, the only manager who has stood toe to toe against Pep in the EPL in the past 6-7 years. So I think Klopp is one factor. But let's not just talk about experience, on the bench. I'm not talking about experience on the field. From the back, from Alisson. If you go one after the other, Alisson compared to Vicario, EPL experience, we know who's there. Unfortunately, they're going to miss Trent, but I think Joe Gomez may not do much in attack, but he's going to do as much defensive work as possible, which is something Liverpool needs. Joe Matty, Virgil van Dijk, we don't need to speak for those two. Even Andrew Robertson. These are all people who have won the EPL, who are experienced in winning games in the EPL. Now, we know Curtis Johnson is young. He's still, he's doing his thing, but he's still upcoming. McAllister has his own EPL experience, also a World Cup winner, and Soboslai, although new to the EPL, has been performing so far. I don't even talk about Salah. Darwin Nunez, yes, he goes off and on, but I think he has a way of stepping up when needed. And Luis Diaz, I think it would be a bold call to say Liverpool finally found their money replacement, but I think Luis Diaz is as close as it comes. Last weekend when they didn't start, what's his name now? The Dutch guy. His name is
Cody Gakpo.
Gakpo. Thank you. I'm a big fan of Gakpo, but I don't think he is there yet. Like I don't think he's bringing what Liverpool really wants him to bring. So I support him not starting. So with all that being said, I think Liverpool also they have a good run of form right now. I think they've been really really showing that they know what they're doing. Or this season they're not willing to play. And this form didn't just start this season. It's actually started at the end of last season. Last season, Liverpool performances they've been like really, really good. And they've really, really taken that energy into this new season. And I don't think it's going to be an easy win. But to answer your question of who do you think is going to win Liverpool, why do you think they're going to win? I think it's just the experience overall. They have players who they know how to step up when it's needed. From the goalkeeper to the midfield, defense to the midfield, up front. So I think that easily plays the game in their favor.
Scoreline prediction.
3-1. I expect Spurs to at least get a goal. I know Spurs may have some injury issues that we're still debating if they're going to have it or not. But regardless, even if it's this team that starts, or if Brian Johnson is going to go out and Richarlison comes in, whichever way they want to twist it, I actually think Liverpool has more mental capacity to see out the game. So I'm just going to say 3-1 for Liverpool.
Okay, thank you. I think that's an easy scoreline prediction, and I say that because the last 3 or 4 games Liverpool have played 3-1. So I see why you went for a 3-1. Anyway, that's fine.
That's my favorite scoreline prediction.
Ayo, go ahead. Do you agree with Charles, or do you think Spurs has a chance here?
Yeah, let me make the argument for why Spurs, are likely to come out on top in this game.
Because they drew with us now.
No. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, if we actually think about the Arsenal game, I would say Tottenham got a bit lucky in regard because the goals that they scored were sloppy mistakes, and I have to give them credit because they capitalized ruthlessly. But yeah. So for for Tottenham, a couple of things to point out. What I've seen is everything goes through Bissouma for Tottenham. So I know we talk a lot about how Angeball is very expansive and, there's a lot of focus on the attacking players. They've been scoring a lot. But the team is actually built around Bissouma, which is interesting because he's a defensive midfielder. When I've paid attention to them this season, everything seemed to go around Bissouma. He's very capable on the ball. He breaks up play. He essentially runs that team. And then when possession is secure, then the attack starts. But it starts with Bissouma is what I've noticed for this Tottenham side. Now, on the attacking side, I think I will say with a fair degree of certainty that Maddison will be available for this game. Yes, he got a bad kick in the game against Arsenal, but I think he will play. Brennan Johnson, we know is out for sure, but I think Maddison will be available. And I think who should come in, where I think is where he should actually play and not as a 9, is Richarlison. I think Richarlison should start off on the wing for Tottenham. Now, why is there a case for Tottenham winning this game? Tottenham is at home. Liverpool have actually had the 2 games they've played away this season have been shaky games for them. So there was the 1-1 draw against Chelsea. And if we remember, Liverpool were lucky to get away out with a point in that game. That was the first game of the season where we're like, Chelsea seems to have gotten things over. Wow, Liverpool, got lucky. That was the first one. Yeah. The second one was a couple of weeks ago when they played Newcastle. They were pretty much done and out. They got a red card, and Klopp had to come up with a joker, against that game. Now they're coming up against a fearless Tottenham side, and I think this might be the game where Liverpool actually lose their first game of the season. Angeball is to be feared. Heung-min Son is totally. I mean, we've seen him play off on the left when he had to be the second guy for Harry Kane. But even when he was the second guy to Harry Kane, he was coming up with classy finishes. Now where he's the main man, he's the captain, Son is absolutely loving that role. I mean, the goals he grabbed at the weekend, that in particular, the finish that he had for the first goal, right, where Maddison spun around away from Saka, and Son found space. If you remember that goal, he found the only spot where there was space in the box in the middle of 4 defenders. He somehow got there before Saliba, Declan Rice, Ben White, and I forget who the fourth person was, and past the goalkeeper. So, with one touch, he was able to find the only place that ball could have gone through for a goal. So he's absolutely loving it. I think he's going to give a torrid time to whoever starts in defense for Liverpool, and they're going to go into this game fearlessly. There will be goals. I see maybe a 2-1 or 3-2 win, but right now Tottenham are fearless. They're at home. Liverpool is away. Like I said, they've been a bit shaky away. I wouldn't put it past Tottenham to sneak a win in this game.
Great analysis. I'm just going to push back on Ayo if you guys don't mind. I know I'm trying to moderate the arguments between the 2 of you, but I just want to push back by calling out some things. Maybe Ayo will have a rethink.
Okay.
Ayo, You did call out the away form of Liverpool, which I think I disagree with, based on facts. Other than the Chelsea game that they drew, which was a bit shaky, and that was the second half. I think they started well, and that was the first game of the season. So I really wouldn't focus on the first game of the season because everybody was trying to find their form, and it was an away game for them, and I think they did well to not lose the game. Other than that, if you look at the other results, they've done exceptionally okay away, right?
Exactly. Okay.
No, let's look at the result, right? So they went to Wolves, defeated Wolves. I know you can write off Wolves. They went to Wolves and beat them 3-1. Newcastle, Liverpool. That was a game that they were down by one man, right? And they came back and win. Now, remember that before that they had a red card. And I just wanted to say this. Liverpool is the only team that I've seen this season that has played with 10 men and not look like 10 men.
Yep.
The first one was against Bournemouth. They had the red card instead of them withdrawing. And I say that because I watched City last week play with 10 men. And I was like, okay, now that I've seen Liverpool play 2 games with 10 men and I've played like they were 11 men, how would City address this game? And I was so disappointed. Now, I was disappointed and at the same time I appreciated the intelligence and the knowledge and experience of Pep. What did Pep do? He caved at some point because it was playing against a team that they started bringing in quick winger. So he caved, went back to 5-3-1. So he brought in a defender. Then towards the end of the game, when he soaked the pressure, then he changed it back to 4-4-1. And he brought in an attacker. That was what Pep did, which was excellent. And that's the thing that sometimes I struggle with Arteta. I'm not reading the game and changing and adapting to the game. Pep quickly adapted and played defensive for a while to hold back. And when that energy and the pressure, was there, he went back to an attacking form just to push them back. So that was one thing. However, Liverpool did something different when they had 2 games with one man down against Bournemouth, against Newcastle. He kept on playing and he kept on attacking and he kept on playing around that midfield. This is the team that beat Newcastle. Now we can say that Newcastle was poor in that game, but it's still Newcastle and they won that game. That was an away game. They played the 10 men against Bournemouth. They had a good game. They played in Europe. They were down. They came back and won 3-1. That was an away game. So Wolves again. So if you look at their away form, other than that Chelsea game that they drew, the rest of it has been a win. So to me, I think it's excellent. And I did call it out. He has Klopp has somehow tried to rebuild that midfield. He's not there yet, but he's rebuilding that midfield, which is taking the pressure away from their aging back four. So because as you can see, that back four is not as strong as it used to be. So they're able to take that pressure away from that back four. That is what I've seen about Liverpool. I think there is deficiency in the sports team. And you are right, and I stand with you when you say everything is built around Bissouma. Somebody actually called it out. The moment Bissouma gets a red card or gets a suspension or gets an injury, Tottenham will go down. So I think that's a weak point that Liverpool will try to explore with players that can hold the ball, with Salah that will draw out Bissouma out of shape, and they will switch to a quick play by Diaz. So that's a problem right there. Now, I want to ask you a question. Let's say Maddison didn't make this game. How would you rearrange that team? Back to you then, Charles.
Good question.
The question is for me?
No,
starting with Tayo. Then I'll come to you, Charles.
Yeah, so let me reply real quick on what you said about the away games. I think it's important to note who the opposition was when we talk about the circumstances in those games. So we've already covered on the Chelsea one. I think we agree. Yeah. Now you have to remember what happened with that Newcastle game, right? Newcastle, we've seen them have a patchy run of form after that, and I think that game really affected them. But that game was more Eddie Howe not reacting to the fact that you're up 11 man and going in for the kill. Newcastle were completely dominant in that game, and like I said, Klopp did the only thing that he could do to try and win that game, which was to just go guns blazing, go all out attack. And he brought in attackers. He didn't try to stay compact and then
defend. Yeah.
And Newcastle didn't react to that. They didn't know how to react. So that's what I'm saying. Now you're coming up against Tottenham. I don't think the Tottenham that I've seen this season will cave in that way. So I under actually no circumstance do I see Liverpool getting a win. I think the best case Liverpool can hope for in this game is a draw. Now you ask for who comes in for.
How would you rearrange the team?
Yeah, how would
if
I
Madison
rearrange
were out?
Madison is out. I think what might happen is he will play Son in that role with Richarlison. So it'll be Son and Richarlison switching, and then you'll have Manu Solomon actually getting a start on the left.
Okay.
That's what I thought as well. I actually place Son as the 10 and put Richarlison up as the striker, bring Solomon
And I
on the
think they
wing.
will interchange.
Charles,
Your question for
Charles,
me,
are you sticking? Yeah, are you sticking with Liverpool still thumping and defeating Spurs, or do you think Ayo's argument would make you change your mind?
Ayo's argument wouldn't make me change my mind, but I will say one thing Ayo said, which is very valid. The performance of Liverpool against Newcastle after getting a red card is more to a discredit to Diao than more a credit to Klopp. But you cannot take away the credit from Klopp.
Yeah.
Because he didn't just do it in that game, he did it against Bournemouth.
He did it against Bournemouth.
So I personally think
But they were at home.
Liverpool spent a whole season last year, or 80% of the season last year, trying to replace Mane. Not really just replacing Mane, but trying to find their form without the front three of Firmino, Mane, Salah. They brought in Cody Gakpo.
They had injury problems.
But apart from injuries,
Jota, Diaz, they were out.
Yeah, they brought in Cody Gakpo, Diaz, brought in Nunes. They've been trying to find the key men to give them the feel of the front three that Mane, Salah, Firmino used to give them. Because those guys weren't just attackers. Those guys took so much pressure off the defense, which is something you alluded to, Biodun. With the wing-back play of Robertson and Trent, at some point, they become 5 attackers. When Robertson and Trent go forward with Salah, Mane, Firmino. Robertson and Trent never seem to, or specifically Robertson never seems to align that relationship or develop that relationship with Nunes, Gakpo, Diaz. It's been a whole season. They started figuring it out at the end of last season, and they haven't stopped since then. So, honestly, they actually look really, really unstoppable. Now, this summer, they had the issue of the midfield. About 5 guys left. Anderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain,
Fabinho.
Keita, Fabinho, and one other person. And we all said, oh, they're going to have issues in the midfield. But McAllister came in, Soboslai came in, and there's another guy, Gravenberch. Gravenberch, yeah. So they brought these guys in, and even though they're still figuring things out, I think McAllister and Soboslai have already clicked. They're figuring out who's going to be that third man to make it work perfectly. While they are doing that, you can tell that midfield is already taking off the pressure from the defense. And once you take the pressure off the Liverpool defense, everything else falls into place. So I personally don't think Angeball is great, don't get me wrong. But Angeball, like you said, has a weakness. The strength is its weakness. The strength is they go through Bissouma, which is a very, very physical, strong player. He's not just defensive, he's also very, very technical. He's a very, very intelligent footballer. If you neutralize Bissouma, now they may figure it out. But
now, how do you do that? How do you neutralize Bissouma?
Put a man on.
Oh, that's very easy. That's very easy. So that is where you put. That is where you put your hate. You put your hate on Bissouma.
That's what I'm saying.
Odegaard was supposed to stay. Odegaard was supposed to stay on Bissouma. All true.
All true. So here's the
thing. We try to play our game. I mean, I don't think we should play like that. I disagree with that. But if you are planning to take out Bissouma, you put your hate on Bissouma. That's it, right there. So because just like you play Rodri, you push them back. You will not let Bissouma control that ball more than 2 times. Because once he releases it, then you put pressure on the other person that has the ball.
Controlling Bissouma is not as easy. But if you figure out a man to do the job, and the man does it well, unlike Odegaard who didn't do it well, if that man does it well, Spurs are done. Because right now, the only person in front who is goal hungry is Son. Madison supplies, I know, and it may be out. Bernard Johnson, he started last game. Richarlison, we know he's not there yet. He's only scored 1 goal so far. What's his name? Kulusevski, same thing. They are all still growing to the season. The only person who's goal hungry right now is Son. And for Son to score, he needs to be fed. If you cut off the supply, he's not going to get fed. So
because of the role he's playing.
Because the role is playing, yeah. So my point is, if you put a man on Bissouma and that man does his job, I'll never forget a game so many years ago. Chelsea, Liverpool, Champions League. Essien was put on Gerrard. And the only thing Essien did throughout that game was follow Gerrard around. Gerrard turns left, Essien turns left. Gerrard turns right, Essien barely played the ball. The only time he got to touch the ball was when Gerrard had the ball. If you do that on Bissouma, forget it. Spurs will have nothing to do. So I think it's easy theoretically, but now it's a gamble because the money you put on him may not be.
Again, it depends on the coach, right? It depends on if you are seeing Tottenham as way better than you. And you need to understand that managers don't think like that. Managers don't feel inferior when they go out and play. Especially, you won't expect Poole to go to Spurs and think that they are inferior and then put a man on Bissouma. They won't do that. They believe in their own game and they believe that they should be the one putting somebody on Salah and they should be the one putting somebody on what's it called, Luis Diaz. So they will let Bissouma play his game because they want to play their game and put Bissouma under pressure. That's what the managers will do. I am just saying that it is teams like Nottingham Forest or maybe Fulham or Burnley that should play that. That's the one that they should play that kind of game and put somebody on Bissouma. That's why Arsenal never played that because we didn't need to play that. And of course, if we didn't have injury problem, we should have won that game. But anyway, thank you guys.
Awesome.
So I'm not sure if I get your prediction again. Ayo thinks Spurs can win this game. Spurs can win this game. I don't think you gave a scoreline prediction.
2-1. I did say 2-1. 2-1.
2-1. And Charles, what was your prediction again? 3-1?
3-1 Liverpool.
3-1. All right. Well, that's it. You have it, guys.
You gonna give us yours?
Yeah, what's yours, Biodun? What's yours?
I want a draw because these two teams are in top 4, right? So as an Arsenal fan, I don't want 3 points. So I want a 2-2. A 2-2. I don't want any one of them to win. Any one of them to win is catching, running away from Arsenal, and that's a problem. But I do want Liverpool to please beat City. Well, I think Arsenal will have to face City before Liverpool. So I'm hoping Arsenal beat City, Liverpool beat City, then it opens up. Thank you. It's been great talking to you guys. Great analysis. We're going to be back next week to talk about the Week 8 games. Thank you, everybody. Continue to like, share, and subscribe.
Bye.
Have a good night.